Hi, I'm Laura Cruz, and I'm the instructor for LAR 112 online for the year 2019 into 2020. And I wanted to give an overview of the three major essays that we're going to be completing in LAR 112. This class is going to focus on giving you the chance to develop an argument, not in the sense of, say, the kind of sparring that takes place on talk radio. An argument in the sense of coming to a reasoned conclusion that's based on evidence. Something that isn't just a slam dunk, something that reasonable people might not come to the same conclusion about, but for which strong reasoning and strong evidence support the conclusion. Along the way, we're going to practice developing this kind of critical thinking and idea building skill by working on three essays. The first is going to ask you to discern something about a topic that may not be obvious. So for example, right now I've got recycling on the brain because there have been some changes and some policies that have taken place in my community because of some national economic issues, and our trash haulers won't accept plastic bags in our recycling bins anymore. So I've been trying to discern a lot of things about this. Why won't they take plastic bags? And what should I do about that? And how many plastic bags in a landfill are okay? And how guilty should I feel if I go to the store and somebody puts one item in each bag and I go home with 15 bags? So I've been working on discerning something about that. It's not the end of the world, but it's something that's thought compelling. It's something I can do a little bit of research about, and it definitely will guide me to make some conclusions about my behavior. The second essay that you're going to address is going to ask you to discern. And discerning is using a gift beyond just looking up information. Discerning is when you start to fine-tune, I'm going to say this crudely, your BS-o-meter, and you start to try to distinguish between the really credible sources of information and the sources that are less credible. So, for example, if I'm curious about why my trash haulers aren't taking plastic recycling bags, maybe I could listen to my high school student when he comes home and tells me what he's hearing from other kids about it. Maybe I'm going to get some materials from my trash hauler and listen to their explanation. And then maybe I'm also going to start checking out some information from other sources as well, maybe news sources that are talking about global trends in the economy that would impact why plastic bags can't be recycled. So along the way, I'm thinking about the credibility of my sources. I'm thinking about the level of knowledge that they have. Is it local knowledge? Is it national knowledge? Is it global knowledge? What's their perspective? Are they just talking about practical effects? Are they talking about principles that go along with practical effects? These are all the kinds of things that I'm weighing and sifting as I consider sources of information and how I want to evaluate those sources and how I want to compile those sources and that information. So that's the focus of the second essay, discerning, trying to decide where to go for information and which sources to use and which sources to put aside and why. Your purpose for doing research and for studying a topic will have everything to do with the decisions you make in your discernment process. And then finally, the third essay is going to ask you to look at transformation. So, if I were to decide that I would no longer take plastic bags from the store, there would be a transformation in my behavior. I would start to have to take bags with me, or maybe I would shop at places where I could ask for paper bags and I wouldn't have plastic bags anymore. But there's a bigger issue, transformation as well. What happens to everybody else who is using plastic bags? Where do those plastic bags go? Do we need a cultural transformation or an economic transformation? And do we need more uses for post-single-use plastic bags? There are synthetic versions of wood that are made out of formerly recycled plastic bags, and it's very durable material. Do there need to be more materials made like that? And should there be some kind of a manufacturing transformation? Should there be a transformation where we shouldn't have plastic bags made at all? I know that this has been a hot topic with plastic straws lately, and people are pushing back against plastic straws and saying we need a transformation with that particular product and we need to switch over to paper straws completely. So It's not an end of the world topic. It's not probably the most important thing going on in the universe. But notice that for each one of these essays, for each one of these purposes for essays, engage, discern, and transform, I was talking about the same topic for each of them, but I was looking at that topic with a different lens and with a different purpose. I encourage you to think about a topic that you can carry all the way through your 3 essays, because I think it's going to save you some time on research, and it might give you a chance to really delve into a topic and feel like you know it very well by the time you're finished. We're in a quick pace course, only 8 weeks, and you're not going to have loads and loads of time to do new research and start over with new topics. So to the extent that you can choose one topic that can carry through for all 3 essays, I encourage you to try to see if you can find one. And as always, if you have any questions about these essays or about how to approach them or about topics that might be workable, I always welcome an email or a phone call. And you should be able to easily find my email address and my phone number throughout materials in the course.